Hello everyone, welcome back. So in today's video we are going to discuss about Locators Part II, where we find out about XPath and CSS, that how we can find and create our customized locators for XPath and CSS, and also we will get to know that how we can find XPath and CSS locators using browser itself. Yes. So starting from XPath, first of all guys, don't forget like video, subscribe the channel and share as much as you can. Thank you so much for your support. Okay guys, so let me start with first of all with the topic XPath. Okay, so the fifth locator I'm going to cover is XPath, and let me show you how we can copy XPath from browser only. Okay, so it's quite simple guys. Right click, inspect, just follow the steps. Okay, the inspect I have mentioned in my first video as well, that we will use the inspect to get the locators, the all the locator like id, type and all the kind of thing. Okay, so after we will select this, just right click, this is a Chrome browser guys, so copy and copy XPath. Okay guys, again let me show you, right click, copy XPath. So if we will check this, here it is. By default it will create the XPath. So now we can verify this XPath as well in a console itself. Okay, so just click on console button, just clear the console. So this is a basically syntax to check whether the XPath is correct or not. Okay, so again the syntax is $x curly braces, okay, and paste it here. So this is the XPath which we have copied. Enter. We have missed something here. Okay, so now I have made this mistake to make sure one thing. If we are going to, it is going to fetch like this for us. Okay, but as we know that we are already going to use this double quote, so we will make it here single quote and not going to use double quote. Let me show it to you guys how this will work. Okay, just paste it here and use single quote instead of double quote. Okay, it shows here, just click on enter, and when you click on it, it will select it. So if it select this, it means that it is successfully created a correct XPath. But guys, don't depend on browsers, don't depend on anyone, anything. You can create it by your own. So you can create a customized XPath and customized CSS. Yes guys, so what is the basic syntax? So first of all, before going further and getting the syntax, let me show what is the main advantage of XPath. So sometime what will happen, that a developer of one side might not include class or name or id attribute. So in that case we will use XPath. It can access almost any element. Okay guys, and the disadvantage is it is a most complicated method. So we can use XPath multiple times, we can create n number of XPaths. Okay, like we have created this one, we can create many XPath for one specific one specific element. So the disadvantage, we cannot say this exactly as a disadvantage, but yes, sometimes this will going to create a problem when we will, you know, we will have different people working on a same project, and suppose you and your another team member is working on a same page, and you are going to fetch the XPath of same element. You both fetch XPath in a same element in a different manner. In that case, that might create a complexity in your code. But this is a quite easy way, guys. I must say, because sometime if you do not have class or name or id attribute, even then you can create XPath. So the basic syntax to create any XPath is this: /tagName @attribute equal to value in a single column. Okay. So that is a syntax. So let me create some customized XPath and show you how we can create customized XPaths. Okay. Again, select this element. We have ID here. Okay. So just follow a syntax, nothing more than that. So first of all, before showing you syntax, let me just make it more clear to you. What is a tag name here, what is an attribute, and what is a value here. Okay. So the tag name is input. Okay. Every time the tag name is the one with the help of which the HTML page is going to start. So here in this line it is div, but here it is input. So tag name input. What is an attribute? Attribute we are going to use ID. So again, ID, name, class, these are all attributes. Okay guys. And what is a value? Value is a username. So with the help of this, we can easily create our customized XPath. Input @ID is equal to username. Again guys, you do not have to dependent upon anything, any software. Just copy this and check this by yourself in console only, with the same syntax I have mentioned earlier. Enter. Here it is. So it means that we have successfully make a correct XPath. So congratulations guys, first of all. So like XPath, we can also create CSS selectors. So I am going to cover these topics in a same video, because these are very much dependent upon, or we can say relate each other. CSS selector is basically a string pattern which we are going to use to identify again elements. Now here we identify an element based on a combination of HTML tags. Again, the tag can be ID, class, or name, anything. Okay guys. So let me create a CSS for this. So this is basically syntax to create a customized CSS. Okay. Tag name, attribute, and value. As we can see, it is pretty much like XPath, if you can relate. So we can create a customized CSS selector from this. We have a tag name, input, attribute, yes, ID, and value, username. So let me show you again in a practical that we have created a correct one. So for that, just clear a console. Now $, and a bracket only. Click on enter. It is showing an error here. Let me check. Is not a valid selector. So guys, I can do these kind of things uh, earlier as well, but I am doing it here in a practical to show you that how we can debug something. Okay, so because that is an important thing when we are performing something, we have to know if we are having any problem at some point of time which we are facing, that what is the problem and how we can solve that. Okay guys, so I know that what is a mistake, but I want you guys also to know what is the mistake I did. Okay, so the mistake is here. Okay, as per syntax it is not at the rate here, but here I have mentioned it. Okay guys, so I have made this mistake to make sure that you know how to debug the things. So it is here saying that this is not a valid selector. Yes, correct, because we are using a wrong syntax. If we are going to remove this and going to use this now again, and we'll check, here it is, the correct CSS. So you guys have also successfully created a CSS selector. Okay guys, so just make sure that you are doing all the things on a live websites. You can use this website as well, Salesforce login, because in the end you have to perform all the things on a live portal, on a live project. Okay guys, so let's just use it here. And clear our concept. Okay, Locators tutorial part 2. So let me copy these from here only. Okay, now I am going to use XPath to fetch this element, the username, and CSS selector to fetch this element. Okay, just let me show you how we can do this. So earlier we have seen that how we can use ID, name, link text, and class name locators, and now we are seeing that how we can customize the XPath and CSS selectors. So it remains the same, driver dot find element by, now by which XPath. Now we knows the syntax, so just make it here in a rough first of all for a practice, and use that only after verifying it. Okay guys, so that will going to be beneficial for you. So here it is, this is a correct XPath, so just copy this one. So you don't have to depend it upon anything with the help of this. Okay, now send keys. Remember this method I have mentioned in my earlier tutorial as well. Arun Kapoor. Now we will going to use CSS Selector dot CSS Selector to find password. So we have a ID password here. So here the tag name is input as well. So just change it here. So we have a ID as an attribute here, password as a value, and input as a tag name. So again verify this on a console. So this console is available on every browser. I usually perform all the operations on Chrome because it is much more stable than any other browser. Okay, so guys, as you can see, click on enter, it will select it, the password here. So it means that our CSS selector is also correct. So just we can use it here. Dot send keys, send keys. So this is a password, test password. Okay, let me run this and show you that okay, it successfully capture username using XPath and password using CSS Selector. Okay guys, so also we have a plugins. So the plugins are for those things which will going to make this automate. I usually don't focus too much on plugins because if you are going to use some plugin, that plugin might get discontinued in future and you will not going to make this as an habit. I am going to still introduce a CrowPath plugin here. So CrowPath is a plugin which we can use in a Google Chrome. This is basically an extension which I have already added. For that, just search CrowPath and click on the first link. So I already have this, so it will going to give me this, but those who do not have the CrowPath plugin will get an add option here. So with the help of this plugin also we can create XPath. So just click on inspect here, use CrowPath. Okay, so it will going to give you multiple options. Like if you click on ID, it will going to make an XPath using an ID. If you going to click on class and vice versa. Okay guys, and also we can verify this, that if we have made the customized one correctly or not using the CrowPath. Okay, just create a XPath or a CSS selector and just click on enter. It is showing one matching element and highlighted the username. So same we can do with CSS selector. Here it is guys. So guys, this need practice, more and more practice. So the XPath and CSS selector, these are a huge concepts. These are not small concepts, but these are huge concepts. These need practice. So this is a way we can create customized XPath and CSS both, and also we can verify this using console, and we can use XPath and CSS selector plugin, which is a CrowPath. CrowPath we can use for Chrome. So let me show you guys what we have covered in this video. That we have covered how to copy XPath using browser. After that, we have learned how to create customized XPath and CSS, and how to verify those XPath and CSS using console and CrowPath plugin. Also, we have seen CrowPath plugin introduction and how to use it for creating XPath and CSS. So again guys, there are number of ways, there are number of things with the help of which we can create XPath and CSS. For a single element, I have mentioned this earlier as well, for single element there can be multiple XPath, there can be multiple CSS. Okay guys, this just need a practice, the concept remains the same, but you just need to practice more and more to make sure that you are going to do it in any way. Okay guys, you can use ID, you can use class, you can use name, whatever you can. Okay guys, so just practice, stay safe, and like the video, subscribe the channel, and share as much as you can. Thank you so much guys.